Hello, people. Oh boy, I'm getting major delay on hearing back what I say. It's gonna be awkward. All right. Okay, so what I'm gonna start by doing is extracting all the information from that module I've got here. That could also work for anything, even if you're not working straight from a module. It's just about putting all the information in that you need. So I'm going to browse this PDF here. So here I've got this image I want. So I'm going to copy that. All right, and it got rid of the watermark, which is good. Let's see the size of it. I've got 900 by 671. That's not a bad size, but I don't really need it to be that big. I think half of that would probably be plenty. Resize it. And I'm going to save it to my folder. So in campaigns, and then I find the one I need. And it'll be this one here. And then under images, JPEG is fine. Can go with just high 53 KB, that's plenty. There we go. So that size is plenty for people to be able to see all the details, and won't take too much real estate on the tabletop. Of course, you can always resize them, make them smaller, bigger. If you make them bigger, you use some of the quality, but so really they could be a bit bigger and people could downsize them. And then they can also minimize it and tuck it away over here. Alright, then I want this dude over here. So it's gonna be the villain. Okay, and as you can see, it added a black background. When you try to rip images from there, it can do some weird things. I've tried changing the background on my Photoshop to transparent, but it still always brings it black. One work around this is I could do, where is it? Take snapshot. So if I did it like this, it would come up like this, but then I had to erase all that. But in this case, I think it looks better like this. Sometimes you'll lose details, but I'll just use this one. Again, save it. Let's wait the size of it. Yeah, I don't need it that big. My monitor is 1500 by 900, so anything over 900 tall is just a waste. But most people have a slightly taller monitor, so that could work too. But I'll just keep it at let's make it 500 tall. At 100%, it would look about this tall, which is plenty. So that guy, now I got this one. So really, if you were building your own module, which I usually do, I go hunting for images. Google is your friend, or whatever art gallery you might have access to or taken care of over the years. Looks like for the images, that might be it. There's this one here. Like this guy here, if I were to do this, it won't come out right because the black is just gonna get mixed up with that image, so I'm gonna use this instead. here. I'm going to use this tool. Guess that looks fine. And this size was 200 by 300, so that was plenty. Let's look at this one. Alright, pretty good. Is there another one? No, that's it. Alright, after that, I'm going to extract the NPCs, creatures. Because I'm using Savage Worlds, I've got access to some really neat NPC maker, which that's going to parse the creature for me. But otherwise, if I didn't have that, I'd just enter all the information here, NPC entry. Let's see. So I'm gonna copy this and click on Make NPC, and ta-da! I got my stat block. Gear, even powers if they add some. So short sword, damage. My stats are clickable. Alright, awesome. So I got one here that's done. And this one's going to be tricky. I might have to use my notepad for this one. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. It'll just add some stuff here that I need to just remove, like the page number and the watermark. So, but otherwise, that works too. Even the abilities. All right. Alright, this guy's a lock card. Alright. Alright, what else? I got a couple more, I think. I didn't get everything. It looks. Alright, so let's do it again. No, I'm gonna have to use my notepad. Alright, let's try it again now. I'll delete this one here. Alright, now I got all his abilities. Powers, we'll use magic, and then I could add fill in the blanks. That's the list for his powers, but I'll do that later. Edit the text slightly. It's not perfect, but it works for now. All right. Now, if I was running a dungeon crawl or something like that, I'd use the dungeon map as my kind of master cue card. The way I look at it is, if I'm running a game face to face, I like to have notes. I like to have cue cards that I can refer to during the game. So all these over here, to me, are cue cards. But in this case, I don't have a excuse me. I don't have a dungeon map because it won't really be a dungeon crawl. So I'll still use a map, but I'll use a mind map. So I've blown it out a little bit, larger than I need to, just so you guys can see. So this is pretty much how I see that adventure going. As you can see, it's kind of railroady, but it's a one shot, so that kind of works. There's a couple spots here and there where players can go either way, like from in the dark they can go to the lurker or the metal grate, but they all end up in the same spot, really. And I've created two spots, one for images and one for NPCs. So now I'm gonna enable the shortcuts. There'll be a right click, and then dial menu, I'll use select layers, enable shortcuts. So I've got the images I've ripped from the PDF over here. I've got the bad guy, so I can drop him here, one here, and one here. So, and then if I mouse over, I can see what they are. They just met the bad guy. I want them to see what he looks like. So I click on this, and then I share sheet, and boom, they'll get the image. And because I kept a really low size, it should only take a second or two at the most. And then over here it says public, so that means it's been shared, and anytime during the game players could click on images over here, and they have it available so they could click in case they X'd out of it and lost it. But if I messed up and I sent the wrong image and I don't want them to look at it again, I could click on the P over here, and boom, then it's not shared anymore. They don't have access to it. Let's move this over. Now here are the NPCs. I can put them here as well for easy reference. Again, now I've got all my NPCs over there for easy reference. I could have access to all that instead of having all these windows over here. This could all be closed out, and I want the swarm of rats. There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to do the encounters themselves. Alright, so the first encounter is this one here. Grand robbers, 1 per hero plus 1. Alright. Okay, and I'll call this one, let's call it a nightly visit. Again, I need the grain robbers, so I'll bring this up here. And I'll drag this here. I'm expecting 5 players for that game, so 5 plus 1, there'll be 6 of them. Okay, so I got those 6 grain robbers. I don't have a battle map for this one. I'll probably just use a blank image. It takes place in a warehouse, pretty square, boring kind of environment. So, but later on I might decide to go all out and make it a nice map. In that case, I would well, let's just make a mock-up one. All right. Alright. Hold shift, that'll draw a straight line. Okay, and put a grid on there. Let's let's put a door over here. Drawing. Let's put some crates. So I've got the grain robbers, and I want to drop them on the map over here. Alright, so they're all in there. Now when the battle starts, I'm gonna need my combat tracker. Let's close it out. Now they're gone, but I want to bring it back up again. Encounters, nightly visit. Alright, so if I click on this, they're added onto the combat tracker and will be added onto the map as well. There we go. Now they're all on there. I can make invisible. They're actually hostile. So there we go. I got my my counter ready. Now for that mind map, I didn't put a spot for encounters, so I'll just do this here like that. All right. Push pins. All right, I got one encounter done. Let's go back. What's the next one? All right, for the lurker, we've got all right, for the offsprings, it says reduce, so I'm actually going to have to create another sewer spider. I'll call it sewer. No, even better. Let's see. I'm gonna copy that one and we'll call it offspring. Drop fightingness D6 and size to 0. Okay. So reducing the size to, well, I'll just remove the whole ability really. Okay. Reducing the size by 2 will lower toughness by 2. So now I've got offsprings and the spider. A new encounter. We'll call that the lurker. Over here it says 1 for the full size and then 1 per 2 heroes for the offsprings. Okay, so So again, I got another encounter. For spiders, later what I could do is look in my token box, and might be one under animal, maybe monsters. So let's check it out. That would actually look better. Hey, there we go. Those are construct spiders, but there we go, giant spider. So instead of using the S, I could use, there we go. They'll look even better that way. And module doesn't give a map. The description of the area over here, it says the room is 8 by 8 with 2, so 16 yards by 16 yards with a 2-yard wide opening on each side. Again, that's pretty straightforward room. If I wanted to build one right in this system here, I could, no, not this one. This one I'll rename warehouse. This one I'll rename worker layer. One, two, three, four. And then if I wanted to drop them in there again, put this one here, and maybe these two on the sides over here. I've got another encounter, so I can close this out. I've got another encounter. Let's keep going down the list. Then I got an encounter, but it's with a wild card, two-headed rat. It's only one creature, so I'm not even gonna bother creating an encounter for that, because I can just grab it from over here. Which one is it? So edit. Where is it? I guess I missed one. Alright, there it is. Okay. So I got that one. And then there's the final battle, I believe. Yeah, it's the showdown, final showdown with Okrolas, the villain. Then swarms of rats, and then some guards that are actually going to join the PCs in the fight. So I'll call it the showdown. Okay, one swarm per 2 heroes. So it's going to be 5. I'll just put 2 swarms. And then 6 soldiers. Again, no map provided, but it's easy layout. Let's describe here. It's inside a granary. Several pools. 8 by 16 yards. And a central one that's 16 by 16. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that just like that for now. Put that in the encounter here. And since that 2-headed rat is kind of an encounter, but it's just an NPC, I'm still going to just drop it into encounters. Alright, now time for the text. It's easy. It's just depending on the size of the file, it takes a while. There's a lot of information in there that won't really be helpful to me, like the background. I'm just gonna jump straight to the what's important. Story entries. Okay, so I got a story entry here. It's gonna be the first one. So again, it's copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Now it's giving you spaces here, unwanted spaces. One way to deal with this, you take one paragraph at a time, and then hit Control J on your keyboard, and it merges everything together so it looks better. Alright, and then I've got some kind of important here. There's a notice roll that's asked. Let the heroes make a notice roll. So I'm just going to highlight it, hit Control B, then it's bold, so it's going to jump up at me when I go through this. Again, here I've got the encounter again, so I could put a link. It's like it's a nightly visit. So I'm going to put this over here. All right. There we go. So even using this, I can just click on it and it comes back up. Same thing as what's on the mind map here. And now this link here, I can put it right here because it's the same title. So I've got the start of my mind map, and over here for a relationship between those boxes, I even put a reminder here that I gotta ask for a notice check. I found this this free program. It's called MineX or XMine, something like that. It's free and you can create those, but I could have just as easily created those on Photoshop, for instance. That could have worked. Well, actually, I should break that down. Pesky little thieves. All right, we'll put pesky little thieves. Again. Usually I work with with dual monitor, but I didn't want to stretch it out too much for you guys. It'd be harder to read and see, so it's a lot easier to go back and forth between your PDF and Fantasy Grounds. Especially to remind me of where the paragraphs are. Again, here there's a tracking role required. Well, not required, but alright. So I've got pesky little thieves. I can drop in here. This one here, I'll go back. Oh, let's do it now. Break it up. Because there's something here. A nightly visit that should be broken up. Okay, it's right here. So actually, this text here, I'm gonna copy it and then I'm gonna delete it. Call it grain robbers. Alright, so now I got the grain robbers over here. Pesky little thieves. All right, now in the dark. If we're in the dark, I only need this. And yeah, I'm sure you can imagine by now if you were using a dungeon map, you'd drop those pins on different hallways or rooms, and you'd have all the information you need from that. And yeah, that mind map is bigger than it needs to be, but just so that everybody can see. Probably once I'm done with it, I'm gonna put it maybe around this size, maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, so it can be tucked away in a corner. All right, I don't need the tokens anymore. There we go. By the way, if something doesn't make sense or you have a question, I think right hand side of your screen you can type away, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, Melgrate and the Lurker. I should probably add that. Here we go. All right, the Melgrate. Yeah, like I said, the mind map works when you're not running a dungeon crawl. Um, you can kind of guess where the players might go, and then you give yourself more options there, and it helps to visualize. The extra lines, I hit Control J. You need to highlight the text. When it's highlighted, it's going to look blue like the text up top there. And then I hit Control J and they'll go away. That was quite the revelation for me when I found that out, because I once did like 100 pages and had to manually remove every line break like that. So it'd be backspace, space, backspace, space for every line. I did that for 100 pages. That was ridiculous. But now, Control J and that's it. All right, over here I've got some text that can be read out loud. So I'm going to highlight that text, right click, paragraph type, and it's going to be a chat frame. So now it is a chat frame. I can read it out loud, or I can just click on this and the text appears in the box there. I like to do both. I think it's better to read it out loud, but I'm not always that good with that, and sometimes I just feeling lazy. But I think it's always better to paraphrase a text. All right, so I think I've got the part for the metal grate taken care of. All right, now the lurker. All right, let's see. Ah. All right, again, highlight, Control J, Control J. There's the text. Okay, so I've got these creatures already created, so I can pick them up from here. There. That's where I forgot my where's it buried? Ah, there it is. Okay, I've got the offsprings to put in there as well. All right. There we go. And then the offsprings. And I could also, if I wanted to, could grab the encounter over here and drop it here as well. So I've got all the elements from that encounter over here. Let's see if I need some more editing. There's no read out loud text, but there's some loot here because in the spider layer they find a dead body, and the guy still had 20 feet long rope, bronze dagger, and an amulet. So I'm gonna go play in the parcels. So under items, I'm gonna create a parcel. I'll call it spider layer dead body. Okay. And then in my library, I think I've got all of that stuff. Let's see. All right, Lankhmar. Gear. All right, the rope. So I can put the rope here. It should be 20 feet instead of 20 yards, so I'll just change that here. And I'll divide it by 3 for the weight, and we'll just put it at 5 pounds. Okay, what else? Bronze dagger, melee weapons. So there's a dagger, and then amulet. So I'll just create amulet, ancestor, amulet. Then there's a note here. Identifying the clan. It's the Dead Horse clan. It says here, returning the amulet to his family can lead to an interesting adventure. So I'll just add that onto it. I'll drag that in there. So I've got a parcel. There again. All right, so I've got the parcel as well. And then I could use the party sheet over here during the game. I can drop this parcel over here. Boom. And then they could sell, or I could give it to one player. The player says, well, I'll take the dagger, or the other one says the rope. I don't know how it works for other rule sets, but Savage Worlds, if I hold down Alt on my keyboard while dragging an item, if I drop it on their portrait, it automatically adds them to their inventory. So, a little tip here, a little trick. Where's my mind map? Here's the mind map. The lurker. Okay, next encounter. That one will be named like this. Another story entry. One other way to do it for a master cue card too, if you don't want to have a map like that, my map, and what I used to do really, I could create I'd call it master cue card, and then I could just jot down some notes in here, and then all these encounters here, those story encounters, I just dropped them. It works really good if it's really straightforward A to B type of thing. You just go down the list and you've got all the information you need. If I'm building my own module, my own adventure scenario, whatever, I usually don't write a whole lot of stuff. It's all in my head, but I still write down some notes, some reminder, and that could work that way. You just jot down a couple notes and drop your story entries, your images, NPCs, and all that. All right. I keep going with the text. And now I got a sidebar here, so I'm gonna have to add that onto it. There's also a table, so those don't know how to make a table, just hold on. I'll show you. So let's do the table. So it looks like this. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. Because it's Savage Worlds, it uses cards a lot instead of dice. So that's one reason why I won't be able to use the tables thing here, which would be really great for that. I know there's an extension that lets you use images instead of die rolls for the tables, but I'm just gonna skip that and do a straight it's kind of a HTML thing, and I'm gonna move my PDF to the side here so I can do it at the same time. So I'm going to choose paragraph type, table. Now I'm going to need 4 fields. So how you do that, it's on the line, Control Tab, and it adds. So now I've got four columns, and then I'm going to need what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to need 8. And I'm going to have to do Control Tab on each line. This one here is going to be card value. Fighting dice. That table is going to be kind of a random trap generator. Because they go through, players are going to go through this kind of corridor of traps. So if they don't disable it before going through, and they fail their notice or whatever, I get to roll on that table for a random trap. Okay, so 2 D10 plus wild dice. $2d8 damage and no notes. This one's going to be a 3 to 5 on the deck of cards. D8. Six to 8. 3d4. Joker to Queen. And 4 notes. Triple Blade, 3 attacks. Ouch. Okay. And King to Ace. It's D8 to attack him. 2d10 damage. Wow. Alright, and that one for notes. It's sight from the ceiling attacks with the drop. So flat-footed attack from sight blades. And then if I get the Joker, they're lucky enough to have no traps. Then I can remove this. So I've got my table here. One other thing I want to add, and I probably want to put it right on top here, is the image from the PDF. Alright, I ripped that image, and it should be over here. The sewer. So I'm gonna, oh, where'd it go? Damn it. So again, when I get to that encounter, I can just do this. This is what you guys see. Sharing, blah, blah, blah. Looks like that. Then over here, I've got what looks like a chat bubble. Let me double check with my PDF over here. Yeah, okay. Chat frame. And then remember I had a sidebar, so I'm going to create the chat bar sidebar. It's called the King of Rats. All right. Control I for italic. So I've got my sidebar, and I think I might want to put it right here as well as a reminder, because that's who they're meeting, that's who's talking to them. Yeah, the talking rat, I know. But it's kind of cool actually. Alright. And then I've got the corridor of traps over here. Might want to do some minor editing here because it looks like it's calling for some notice roles over here. Okay. And then I think I'm satisfied for now. Drop it here. And I've got the next one, an evil plan. All right, so new story. This one is another chat bubble. Nobody's actually talking yet, but it's like narration. There's another chat bubble. Alright, I think that's it for the chat part. Oh wait, there's more. I mean, as you can see, it's not difficult at all. It just kind of tedious at time. It's just a lot of copy and paste. So really, when you see all these fancy venture modules in the store, there's no reason why you couldn't do that yourself. Of course, it's going to take some time, but it's possible. I'm not using any tricks here. Everything is done from inside Fantasy Grounds. You don't even have to do it all at once, too. You can do a couple encounters at a time. Like I've got, that module is 17 pages, It should last a session, maybe two, depending on number of players. And I'm now not even an hour and a half in. I'm gonna be done soon, so I mean it's prep time, but it's not that bad. So I've got all the text in there, but I'm going to need that picture image of the bad guy. Whoops. Let's put that guy back in there. Bad guy. So they get to that encounter. I can click on that again, share it. Boom. And then there's a bunch of dialogue there. Well, more like monologue. So I got an evil plan. And as you can see from the map, I'm almost done. So I'm going to go with the next one, which is in the pit, into the pit. So this one here, 2d6 damage is they fall down, they fall into the pit. Basically, the evil guy is just doing his villain monologue, and once the players start getting close to attack him, releases a trap, they fall into a pit, and then there's this giant two-headed rat that they'll have to fight. In the pit the heroes are in is round and 12 yards diameter. Says it's partly full of water, considered difficult ground. In this case, I think I'll just use Theater of the Mind. It's just one target, and they're in a pit, there's nowhere else to go, so I don't really need a map for that one. You can just walk over it and attack it. So again, NPC. And I've got a section, like a little option here in case some of the players decide to stay back instead of charging the bad guys and don't fall into the pit. So I've got some information here on what happens if one of them does that. So I'm going to make that a heading like this. In the meantime, outside the pit, put that text. Okay, and then of course they'll have to escape, otherwise it'd be a pretty boring adventure. So information on how to escape is over here. Put the heading. So basically, if someone stayed back, it's gonna be easier to escape the pit. Otherwise, they pretty much have to bust out of the pit because it's covered too. But they've made this this King of Rats friend, and if they were nice to him, he's gonna help them out by pushing the lever and helping them escape. Otherwise, and if they were a dick to him, then they're gonna have to find their own way out. Okay, then I've got the into pit, and now we're going to move on to final encounter, the one in the granary. So grains, some more copy and paste. Right here. Okay, and the showdown. Okay, got my encounters, combat, showdown. So I can put it right here. Then put individual entries. Showdown. Alright, Ocolas. Kurtz. Okay, put that one over here. Then final one, call it the end. All right, so I've got my mind map. I've got all my push pins for everything I might possibly need. If I want some more, I can just drop them in there, update my map. At this point, I could also polish it a little bit for the tokens if I wanted better tokens than just letter tokens. I go looking for them either online for images or tokens I already have here. Same with images. If I want to share some specific imagery with them, this adventure module was made for Beasts and Barbarians, but it's really Lankhmar with serial numbers filed off, especially for that one. I'm reading Swords of Lankhmar right now, so I could go on there and change the names a little bit of some NPCs to reflect what actually goes on. Another step too, but I already started with the pre-gens because it's a one-shot. I always have pre-gens ready. To me, that's the part that sucks the most. I don't really like it. I'm three PC in, still have 3 to finish. So that's kind of part of the prep for me. And something I like to do, but that's not really needed, is the skin. As you can see, I been working on the skin. But that'd be some for another session. Alright, if you make a custom NPC, how do you get the attack and damage to show on the tracker? Let's grab one NPC here. I'll just drop a sewer spider. The attack's going to be under that sword here. All the attacks are going to be here. Of course, your stat block needs to be filled out, so all the information needs to be over here under attacks. Of course, it's Savage Worlds. It looks different than what you might be used to, but basically that's it. If your stat block under NPC is filled out right, once you drop it in there, it's going to populate the combat tracker. You can have its defenses. Over here there'll be a number of spaces of squares, grid squares it uses, and its reach. and then you've got the effects. If you were using the effects over here for a stun effect or a blinded or whatever, that would appear over here, and it would count down number of rounds. What else? Some for Savage Worlds too, that because I know a few of you are actually use that one. Some that other rule sets don't have. If I wanted to add more sewer spider offsprings, if I hold down Alt and click on that group icon over here, it adds another sewer spider, and they all act under the same initiative. Over here, let's start around. These all act under this. Yeah, Lee, I think you might be using 5e or maybe Pathfinder. Yeah, you really have to follow the syntax for it. Some it's base attack, some it's just attack. It depends. I'm not that familiar with these rule sets. The one I use, as you can see here, I mean, I just copy and paste it, and it parsed that creature automatically, and all the attacks were in there, right? One way to make sure that you have it right is that if you run your mouse over the fields, if they come up like this, highlighted blue, that means you've done it right. Like I'm rolling the claws, rolling the damage, and then bite damage. Clearing out. Well, you're welcome. Can still stick around for a little bit if there are any questions. Otherwise, I mean, I'm pretty much done. As you can see, it took me about an hour and a half, and I kind of took my time explaining things at the same time. So it really isn't that bad for prep. But of course, I spent many more hours creating that skin and the PCs for the pre-gens. So, but if it's a campaign, these are things you don't have to do every game. So. No two-headed rat token. Bummer. Let's see if I can work my Google. PNG. Actually, I'll use token tool. Make myself a token. So I've got this image, right? I'm going to save it to my desktop. Oops. Let's try something else. Damn it. No, I guess that ain't working. Let's go back. The rat has two heads, not two tails or two asses. Gonna use that's better. Save again. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, so I've got a token. Doesn't look great, but it looks like a two-headed rat. So, and I'll save it. Fantasy Grounds data, tokens, host. I'll call it two-headed rat. Oh, there it is up here. So let's bring up my two-headed rat. And instead of the T token, I can just grab this one. Now it's going to use that token. What else do I have? A swarm of rats. I think I already have that created. Rat swarm over here. Yeah. So I'll use that one. For thieves, grain robbers. That'd be kind of easy. I could use the character tokens over here that come in for free. Find something that looks like a thief. It's a halfling, not really. Human female rogue, male female. Ah, there it is. Alright, I'll use this one. The rogue over here. And Oculus, he's kind of like a mad sorcerer or something. A spellcaster. I'll just use this one here. Soldier. That one looks kind of okay. Use this. Oh yes, and I forgot. Okay, so the grain robbers. There was an image I wrote for this. There's the thief one, so I can put that one over here. All right. Any more touches, really? Guess I could create some maps, but I've got the warehouse here. That should be plenty. Character entrance over here. Or the which other one? Oh, the layer over here. I could put. There's a dead body over here with loot, so I could do this. or use the smell my finger token. Let's see what that looks like in the dark. Ooh, spooky. Well, all right, guys. I think that's it. I think I pretty much covered everything, and I've got my session ready. So, wish you guys a good night, and thanks for showing up and asking questions and all that. That was great. Bye bye.